What is going on, squad? Welcome back to another video. I'm here in London, but I'm ironically heading back to East Grinstead in a minute. In 5-10 minutes, that will take me about an hour and 15 minutes, where I'm meeting up with Josh Carr, a good friend and legendary Gymshark employee and hybrid athlete, and we are going to be doing an explosive bodybuilding session for the lower body. It is currently about 3 minutes to 4, so as much as I would absolutely adore a coffee, I'm 35 and sensitive enough to caffeine that will literally write me off for the weekend. So caffeine-free amino acids it is. And when you're stacking it with a couple of focus capsules from Innermost, you know you're about to have a very good session. Pills down the hatch, bottle in hand, bag packed, let's go. Accelerate in East Grinstead, advocating taking steroids to all of its members. Josh Carr, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good, give me a fist bump. How do you feel about some lower body specific explosive bodybuilding?
Yeah, sounds good. Not 100% sure it's my wheelhouse at the moment. Explosive bodybuilding.
Yeah, this is the guy who's currently training for a 120-kilometer swim. So some explosive bodybuilding is a slight deviation from
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I caveat that. I'm also doing some powerlifting as well, but nothing explosive.
So it's either long zone 2 swims or
Moving slowly with a bar.
or slowly up to 3 reps. So today's going to be a little bit different and the weird middle ground.
It's going to be fun.
Let's warm up, see how we get on. Oh, moderate was not moderate. I think that's where we fucked that up. That was good. A little bit of foam rolling, then onto the heavy stuff. Heart rate definitely up. Finally, breath has come back. I can no longer just taste fucking lead in my mouth. Now for some drills. Josh, you feeling warm?
Toasty. Yeah.
Toasty. I like that as a description. Toasty as well for me. So what we're going to do now, session is broken down into a few different components for this explosive bodybuilding session, specifically for the lower body today, and we're going to start off with a primer. We are going to do something called RFD jumps, which is rate of force development. This is where basically there's not an awful lot of tension. We hold the joints at a certain angle, a little bit of a kind of roll into them, usually from kind of sitting on a bench, and then maximal intent. Just doing something that is light, is snappy, you're not overcoming too much resistance, but that has that kind of maximum global activation, maximum muscular recruitment, really primes, obviously, the central nervous system just enough that it gets you warm and ready for the rest of the session to come, but not too much that it starts to accrue or elicit kind of any kind of fatigue. So I'm going to make sure that my 35-year-old joints are still working, get some amino acids in me, and then we're going to start jumping. Primer's done there, guys. One of the things I hope you noticed is both of us are trying not to kind of lift our feet and knees too high off the ground and then slam them into the ground before the jump. You almost kind of want the feet either just above the floor or touching the floor, roll in, so you go from that kind of moderately acute angle into exploding up from there. And for those of you that are more kind of conventional, yeah, just go around to the squat rack, mate, and we'll be all good. For those of you that are more kind of conventional bodybuilding in regards to your background and don't really want to do this crazy funny stuff, all the science suggests this is not just a way to develop power, it truly does increased muscle mass. You're getting more global recruitment. Something of maximum intent means you will lift heavier in your main compound exercises. You want to get bigger, you want to get stronger. Putting more flipping weight on the bar is going to be key to both of those objectives. And the way that you can prep yourself to put more weight on the bar is by doing some light, snappy, maximum intent but low resistance level primers like that. And the good news is after your warm up, it takes 3 or 4 minutes bolted onto the end, so it does not eat into the session too much. So plug in the camera in a second, and then we're going to be squatting. Okay, so following the kind of the power theme, what we're going to do, down to a box. I was just saying to Josh just off camera then, one of the reasons that I love box squats is I'm just not wired to have a quick kind of bounce out of the hole, out of the bottom, that transition between eccentric and concentric on the way down, and then basically that bounce to then begin the upward phase just doesn't favor the kind of the shape of my spine and my pelvis. And 15 years into practicing 1,000,001 different kind of grips on it, high bar, low bar, how much of a heel drop in my lifting shoes or flat, how wide the kind of the stance is, none of it seems to flipping matter. So this is why I do box squats now, just to kind of ease that transition. So down, we're going to try to do a 3 or 4 second count on the way down, brief pause on the box to kind of just take that bounce out of the way, and then full global activation all the way up. And the reason that we put the bands in, we are just so much bloody stronger at the top end of the movement. So because of that, if we only ever lift what we're capable of lifting at the bottom, we're losing a lot of potential to get stronger at the top. So sets of 6, 3, 4 second eccentric, and basically we're going to try and move between it fairly quick. Although it's explosive and power and athleticism work, it's still bodybuilding, it's explosive bodybuilding today. So with that, we don't want to rest too long. Rest period being one of the biggest dictating factors of kind of growth hormone production and release. So it's basically going to be you go, I go, with an extra kind of 30 seconds worth of procrastination in between.
You didn't tell me about the eccentric.
3 or 4 seconds, here we go. So, on camera, for the record, how is your powerlifting training going for your big multi-event challenge in a couple of months?
It's going well. Recently hit a couple of PRs.
Nice.
So around like I mean, it's nothing major. Like if you're a powerlifter, it's nothing to bat an eyelid at. So around like a 170 squat, a 140 bench, and around a 200 kilo deadlift at the moment. Target officially for the challenge is 500 kilos, which we're already above. I've got my own targets in there as well. But no, it's going well. For someone who has never thought about powerlifting before sort of this time last year, I'm pretty happy with it.
Boom.
Thank you, man.
$150 now on the bar. For this, it's not a massive amount overall for box squats at this kind of range, but it's the fact that we are flipping. We're being strict with the eccentric, bro. Like that's slow. So with the eccentric and the pause, the total kind of set of 6 is a flipping long time and attention. So what I'm going to do now, we've added 20 kilos on from 130 to 150. This is a little bit more of kind of, up to a training range in terms of stimulus range that I should be working in, but we're going to do 4 reps, which again might sound fairly low and kind of too low for a bodybuilding, muscle building kind of hypertrophic effect. But the eccentric A is the bit that shreds your flipping muscle fibers, and B, a good quality 4-second eccentric with a pause, 4 reps is more time under tension than you would think. You're not going to get this set done in 10 seconds. It's going to take realistically, from the time you have that bar on your back to the time you let it go, it's going to be more than 20. So, 150, 4 reps, that's enough procrastinating waffle from me. Let's go. I feel as though I'm now about 5'3". After the amount that flipping thing just compressed my spine, I felt putting it back on after 20 seconds time and attention, I was like, I'm definitely shorter than when I took this off half a minute ago. Woo! He was teasing me. He was teasing me. He had it the whole time. He knew I was going to come rushing in. He had it the whole time. He didn't need me. He's teasing. He's good at it. He's teasing.
It's all just yielding isometrics. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
A pause wasn't even scheduled in there. I don't know why the fuck he did it.
It's just more sports science.
Yeah, he's just doing it. He's just doing it for banter. He's like, "Am I struck? I'm fine. I'm fine, really."
Yeah,
How you feeling, man? How was that?
Mate, that was good. It was good. Nice to feel like explosive.
Yeah.
So much of the stuff I'm doing, like decelerating towards the top. It's nice to feel that like top end speed a little bit more.
Well, I mean, with this stuff, like we were saying kind of earlier, even if power, like if you're a hybrid athlete or prepping for the military, or a lot of the guys that kind of follow the channel, this stuff's going to be relevant to general athleticism anyway. But even if this whole idea of explosive bodybuilding, even if bodybuilding and the aesthetics is the only thing that you care about, you need to get that, you need to get your central nervous system working, and you need to shred those muscle fibers and get as much kind of activation and global activation as possible. And doing stuff where you still have to continue to accelerate, the science literally says you get more what's called global recruitment. So basically your central nervous system, your brain just activates everything so much more. So even if aesthetics and kind of shape and symmetry are the only things, not even really functionality, the only things you're looking at, you are going to get a better result doing stuff that goes with your natural strength curve. Even if it's just once every 2 weeks, add something like this in, and it's golden. And if you get injured, it's not my fault. Banded RDLs, how are we feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm looking forward to this one.
Both feet in the band, definitely kind of conventional, it has to be. I don't know how sumo RDLs would go. I'm feeling quite strong because of the amount of motivation and energy brought into this room by Elle, who is literally lying on the bench like she's been shot in the back of the head. Thanks for being my spirit animal right now. So split grip I'm going to have to do, we were just saying, slightly thicker band than I normally use for banded RDLs. I'm happy that I've got my functional Vans on in terms of shoes. Ta-da!
What are those?
What are those? But the band luckily only really adds a little bit of resistance. It does add quite a bit, but only really at the top. So all the way from kind of like mid to high part of the shin, up, you're trying again to get as much kind of maximal intent, so do it with speed. You're not having to worry about a shrug or a calf raise, but just bringing the hips through. And again, because the band gets tighter and tighter and tighter towards the top, it's going with your natural strength curve, which means you're not naturally decelerating the closer to the end range you get, you're still accelerating through. And effectively that's what we want. So let's go for 8 reps, nice kind of bodybuilding range. We're not worrying about a 4-second eccentric. I would, but I'm tired, so I'm not gonna worry about it now, and we'll see how we get on. We are then going to superset that with some Bulgarian split squat jumps. I've got a little bit dizzy, so I'm just going to stand in. Again, this is a very, very, very easy flipping movement to cheat on. So just make sure that pretty much all of the weight is going through that front leg. So from there, make sure it's the front leg that's doing all the work. It's very easy to start transferring weight onto the back leg. That's what you're trying to avoid. Jumping up into a tuck, down under control. You're not really worrying about eccentric pace or speed at all. Just straight down, straight up, and 8 each side. The speed that lactic gets in your legs is pretty rapid, as we lovingly see here. Oh, it just burns so flipping quickly, man. Like, I don't understand how lactic is produced and dumped into your fucking quads that quickly. But it's horrendous. But good little posterior chain, explosive bodybuilding move with an anterior chain, explosive bodybuilding move. Now it's time for me to put my lungs back in and my kneecaps on the front of my legs, and for Josh to do his set. Spicy, just burns so fast, man. But it's good, you just feel your tissues contracting in a different way. It's a different kind of pump. There's more blood flow, more tissue perfusion, more fibers being shredded. It's just ideal, man. There's a reason that explosive athletes are just absolutely shredded, man. Sprinters, NFL players, this stuff works. Set 2 for Josh, let's go. Oh my God. Definitely picking up fatigue as the sets go on. Because that third one, especially on the jumps, the RDLs felt the same, but these felt a lot harder. One of the things I was trying to make sure that I kept doing actually was continue to accelerate all the way to extension before you then bring your knee up into a tuck. Instead of just kind of pushing it to about there, and then just picking it up and dropping it down, making sure you get as close to or fully extended, maybe not the hips in front of you, but for the knee and the ankle. So to go all the way through the movement before you then start the tuck. I just kind of picked up on that about halfway through the first leg. 3 sets done. It's so gassy, man, but the pump is real. Oh, how you feeling? Good? Tell us how you're feeling!
Open up emotionally!
She loves being in front of the camera as well. So we've done the power stuff, but it is explosive bodybuilding still. So we need a little bit of pure kind of sarcoplasmic pump work. So what we're gonna do some cyclist squats, which for those of you that don't know is basically heels super raised really, really high, such as on something like this, as Josh is perfectly demonstrating here. And obviously ankle mobility being the primary reason that people won't be able to get squat depth. If you take that obstacle out of the way, it's extremely easy for people to, or a lot easier for people to stay nice and upright and go all the way down. So what we are going to do is put a band around the back of our neck underneath our feet, so there's still a little bit of natural strength curve work with it, holding 16 kilos. I'm making this up as I go along in a kettlebell in front of us. And we'll do 20 reps, which is going to suck, but get a proper flipping pump on. That's the anterior chain. We're then going to basically superset that quad work with some hamstring work, with some glute ham raises. So, as Josh is perfectly demonstrating right now, Nordic style, as strict as you can.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so with knees kind of at the bottom or just below the pads, down to extension, and then up with as little break of the hips as possible. So 8 of those. So 20 for the quad movement, and then 8 on the hamstring movement. But the science does tell us that hamstrings elicit a hypertrophic effect at a lower rep range anyway, so it balances out. 3 rounds, back to back, basically no rest. Let's go. What is going on, squad? I'm back in London now. I'm out of the gym, and it is currently the next day after the lower body explosive bodybuilding session because the camera battery ran out because I only took one of them. Hope you did enjoy the video though. Hope you can kind of see there. It's a nice kind of comprehensive showcase of just how easy it is to actually merge power and athleticism with some good quality muscle building, bodybuilding work. So if you did enjoy this video, please do smash that like button. It only takes you 2 seconds. It's incredibly beneficial for me and the growth of the channel. If you've got any questions on anything covered in the video, please put it down in the comment section below. And as always, beautiful people, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will see you in the next video.